Let's do our video on multiplying fractions. Our learning target for multiplying fractions is students can solve real-world problems involving fractions. So eventually we're going to build up to doing some problems that have multiplying of fractions in them. This video will just be the basic on how to multiply some simple fractions. If you're ready to move on, go ahead. Otherwise, pause it. Okay, example 1. Multiplying proper fractions. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply proper fractions, not mixed numbers or anything like that. Actually, this would work for improper fractions. It's the same method for that. So the first thing I'm going to do, when you multiply fractions, you multiply across. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Okay, so all I'm going to do for A is multiply 3 times 1. Okay, and that's 3. 5 times 4 is 20. I look to see if I can simplify. Nothing goes into 3 and 20 besides 1, so that is it. Okay, so again, you're just doing numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, and that's it. Okay, you do not have to find a common denominator like adding or subtracting. Okay, so it's a little quicker process sometimes. Okay, in example B, 12/25 times 5/18. Again, I'm going to multiply across. Now when I multiply across in this one, it's going to give me some large numbers. So I'm going to do 12 times 5 on the top, and I'm doing 25 times 18 on the bottom. Well, 12 times 5 is 60. 25 times 18 is 450. Then I'm going to look to simplify. Okay, I can divide them both by 10. They have the 0 on them, I can see that. And that's going to give me 6 over 45. I can see that I can divide them both by 3. 3 goes into 6, 3 goes into 45. And so that gives me a final answer of 2/15. Now, that's a lot of work, and you have to recognize, first of all, you have a lot of multiplying to do, and then reducing and simplifying is pretty difficult there. It takes a while. You have to think about the numbers. There's another way that you can do this problem, and it's called cross-canceling. So basically, when you multiply, this only works with multiplication. Okay. Basically, what you can do is you can simplify before you multiply. Okay? So this is how the process works. When I'm simplifying, usually I'm looking within a fraction. But when it's multiplication, if you look at my first step that I had right here, you notice that I just put them both over the same line there, which means that I can use any numerator number and cancel it or reduce it or simplify it with any denominator number. So in this example, I will check the 12 and 25, nothing, the 5 and 18. I can't simplify those. However, I could simplify 12/18, so I can look at those crosses. 12/18 can be both divided by 6, which is going to give me 2/3. So all I do in this is I cross off the 12 and I make it a 2. Cross off the 18 and I make it a 3. They both were able to be divided by 6. I can check the other cross. That's why it's called cross-canceling. I check the other cross. I look into there. 5 and 25. Is there any number that goes into both 5 and 25? Yeah, 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 25 divided by 5 is 5. And now, when I do my work, I now have 2 times 1, which is 2. 5 times 3, which is 15. Same answer, but much easier to multiply and much easier to simplify because you're simplifying much smaller numbers. This works because when you are multiplying, you're putting the factors in the numerator all end up on the top, the factors in the denominator on the bottom, so you're just canceling. When I combine them, I'm just canceling numerators and denominators. Again, only works with multiplication. Okay. All right, if you need to pause, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm moving on to my next example. Okay, in example 2, multiply mixed numbers. Unlike adding, where you can multiply, add the whole numbers and then add the fractions, in multiplying mixed numbers, you must turn them into improper fractions. Okay, you have to take that step of turning them to improper fractions. So in A, I'm going to do 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8, so that's 8/3 times 7/2. I'm going to look for my cross-canceling, and look, 3 and 7, no. 8 and 2, yes. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now I can multiply. 4 times 7 is 28. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, and then I cannot leave things as improper, so now I have to convert it back to a mixed number. So I divide them. 3 goes into 28 9 times. That's my whole number. There's 1 left over, my remainder. So that's 9 1/3. Okay, if you don't remember how to do that, real quick, here's the work. Top in, bottom out. 3 goes into 28 9 times with a remainder of 1. Okay, 9 and 1. Denominator stays the same, third. Okay, for B, 4 times 5 plus 1 is 21/4 times 7 times 2 plus 2 is 16/7. I'm going to look to cross cancel. So 21 and 7, yes, 7 goes into both of those. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 16 and 4, well, 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Now when I multiply, I get 12 over 1. Okay, anytime it's over 1, that just represents the whole number. 12 over 1 is the same as 12, so your final answer is 12. And that's how you multiply fractions. Okay, if you need to watch anything again, go ahead. Otherwise, have a great night.